Los Angeles Lakers were pathetic. They were soft.
It was a horrible effort.
Everything that could possibly have gone wrong went wrong for the Lakers.
They pretty much just kicked their ass. I mean, there's nothing else really to say. It's been a roller coaster for us all year, especially with injuries.
LeBron and Anthony Davis out. The Lakers lost again.
How much ground do they lose come playoff time?
The Phoenix Suns have beaten the defending champion.
It's been mentally draining, spiritually, emotionally draining. And given everything we had up until this moment, made a better man win.
Well, life's a little too real right now, so that is why I am so grateful we have this distraction called sports and the NBA playoffs. We got into this business for a reason, right, Max?
Beats working for a living, for sure.
For sure. Hey, Stephen A., good to see you. Great work on all the coverage out there from LA. I know it's been a long night. Gentlemen, let's get into it. It feels all sorts of wrong saying this, but LeBron James bounced out of the first round for the first time in his career. The Lakers sent packing on an early summer break. AD, a shell of himself, couldn't contribute anything. CP3 also banged up, not adding much, but Devin Booker, a man amongst boys, dropping 47 and a 13-point win, sealing the deal in 6. Now it's on to the Nuggets. As for LeBron and the Lakers, rehab time.
I want to be out there for the team. You know, in a situation, when to go home. Obviously didn't want to just lay down and not be able to do what I can. It never really felt good, but like I say, I once God, just the competitive nature in me to go out and help the team as best as I could. My body didn't agree.
It doesn't matter to me as far as, not making it out of the first round. What matters to me is getting this team back healthy. Me not being able to be at my full strength throughout this series, that's my main focus. But, time to readjust and think about what the offseason has in store.
Max?
Yep.
I'm not going to lie. If I was a betting woman, I thought we'd be back in LA watching them defend their crown again, but that is not the case. Out in the first round, obviously a lot of injuries. What went wrong for LA?
Well, we would have been out there for sure. Injuries, period. There's no one who can tell me you watched that series, and I was high on the Suns from the preseason. There's no one who could tell me you could watch that series and say if LeBron and AD would have been healthy, it would have even gone 7 games. It would not have. The Suns would have gone out in 5 or 6 games. We saw when they were just healthier. They weren't 100%, just healthier. The Suns couldn't beat that team. No. When AD got hurt, because it's Mother Nature, he grew a foot in high school in 1 year. Like his connective tissue, whatever it is. I'm not going to question his work ethic in the offseason and stuff like that. I'm sure he puts in work. No, it's just some people are built differently, physically, more injury prone. AD is one of those dudes. And there have been other players like that, great players who haven't been able to stay on the field of play consistently, but when they are, can be champions. Like, AD last year. Yeah, no, you're right. People, he's not reliable. Yeah, that's true. But when he's on the court with LeBron, good luck anyone in the West stopping them. The Suns wouldn't have. The issue was injuries. That's it. And by the way, then the pressure everyone put on him to play. He clearly wasn't ready to play. You could see by his gait when he walked on the court. He should not have been out there. That discombobulated the Lakers. They fell down by 20-plus points. And even though they fought back, because even on a bad ankle without AD, that's how great LeBron is, it was clear they didn't have a chance. With LeBron and AD healthy, they win. They were hurt. They lost. Simple as that.
It's not as simple as that, but I can understand how somebody like you would deduce it to that point because congratulations to you. I believe that the Los Angeles Lakers still would have won this series, but I picked it in 7 games at the beginning of the series, and I believe you did too.
Yep.
Which means that you had, before Anthony Davis got hurt, you had the Phoenix Suns winning 3 games. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's before Anthony Davis got hurt.
Well, he was already hurt, Stephen A. He was just coming back.
Well, he was coming back, but he had come back and he had looked pretty damn good, and he didn't have the groin injury. So the point is, we picked them to win in 7 games, and we both believe that would have happened, but I still believe it would have gone 7 games. And I think that the Phoenix Suns validated that, A, because of how DeAndre Ayton played consistently throughout the series, B, because of the coaching that we witnessed and how the Lakers' suspect shooting was exposed, C, because of Devin Booker's star status, because this brother is real and he's bona fide, and Anthony Davis wasn't going to do much to negate that unless he was guarding Devin Booker outside of the three-point line, which I don't think would have happened. and of course the leadership of CP3. Remember, he's been injured in this series too. If he didn't get injured and Anthony Davis didn't get injured, that's where we get the 7-game series for. But I'll also tell you what also went wrong with the Los Angeles Lakers, other than Anthony Davis's injuries, Max. How about Rob Pelinka and Frank Vogel? How about Rob Pelinka? You lose Rajon Rondo. You let him walk away and sign a 2-year, $15 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks. How about losing Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee? Since you knew you were going to have to play big boy basketball, and they're the ones who helped Anthony Davis stay healthy last year because he wasn't asked to do but so much on the interior because you had those big bodies that the Lakers threw at people last year. How about that with the Rondo, Dwight Howard, and JaVale McGee being gone? And how about Frank Vogel somehow, some way not figuring out that the durability of Anthony Davis was always historically a question mark, and you acquired a 6th man of the year at the time in Montrezl Harrell, and somehow, some way, he's only averaging 6 minutes per game in this series heading into last night. You didn't figure out how you were going to need to utilize him. I think those things played a significant role in what happened to the Lakers last night as well.
29 minutes away from First Take, Steve. Thank you again. And so let's just start right there at the top. Many people will look at this and say the Lakers championship window closes last night. How do you see it?
I don't see it closing. I don't see it as closing. I see it as closed. It's over.
Over?
No, LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers are not winning another championship in the LeBron James, Anthony Davis era, in my opinion. Because I think Klay Thompson's coming back. Utah isn't going anywhere. Jokic and Denver are not going anywhere. Michael Porter is elevating before our very eyes, and Jamal Murray is coming back. This is a perimeter-oriented game, and up-tempo, and the Lakers were relatively slow this year, and they didn't have strong shooting, and I don't know where they're going to get it. The combination of that, along with the fact that Brooklyn is staying together for at least another year or two, Philadelphia and Milwaukee are coming, and Father Time and LeBron James are coming closer to one another, reaching an accord. Certainly, I think that he can drop 25 a night in his sleep. He's number 2 as far as I'm concerned on my all-time list. I'm not taking anything away from him. I certainly don't blame him for what transpired in this series against the Phoenix Suns. It was about the durability of Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis were healthy, I believe the Los Angeles Lakers would have won this series. But he wasn't. But 20% of the time, he hasn't been available. And for those out there that are going to get into it, because you know if you're critical of today's players, Greeny, we understand. It's not just about basketball. It's got to be about something else. You're talking about the family. You're talking about their personal life. You're talking about everything just because you said, excuse me, they got problems playing the game of basketball for whatever reason. Let me put Anthony Davis on notice right now. When healthy, you are one of the top 5 players on the planet. No one with basketball sense would question the greatness of Anthony Davis as a player. He is a champion on a collegiate level. He is a champion on the NBA level. When he's healthy in the postseason, the brother averages 30 plus on better than 50% shooting. He is that lethal, and he's a defensive presence as well. The problem is his availability. He has not always been available. He certainly wasn't available the last 3 games of this series. And because of that reality is why the Los Angeles Lakers lost. And so now moving forward, with the game being what it is, based and predicated on guard play, perimeter shooting, pushing the ball up and down the floor, etc. The bottom line is, can you rely on a relatively frail Anthony Davis to be that dependable, reliable presence for you? The answer would be no. And if you can't rely on him, that means you have to rely on LeBron, who will be 37 years of age, entering his 19th season in the NBA. And you think that's going to knock off these young Lions that are coming? I don't think so. The Lakers' best chance to get another title in LA in the LeBron James era was this season. It didn't happen. I think it's over.
Okay, so Stephen A., what makes you great is that you are not just an opinionist, but also an insider. And so my question to you then is this. If LeBron and Anthony Davis cannot do this themselves, is there something they can do this offseason? Someone realistically they can acquire that will reopen that window?
I genuinely don't know the answer to that question. You've got Kyle Lowry that's going to be available, and he's an experienced, savvy point guard who knows how to run a basketball team and can hit perimeter shots. But he might cost you about $25 million a year. I don't know what's going to be the case with that. Remember, the Los Angeles Lakers, money was an issue. That's the reason why Dwight Howard and a JaVale McGee were both gone, and a Rondo ended up departing. Remember, in football, what did we love about what we saw this offseason? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Tom Brady, who won a Super Bowl championship, kept all 22 starters. That's what we raved about them. The Los Angeles Lakers did the opposite. Gone is Dwight Howard. Gone is JaVale McGee. Gone is Rajon Rondo. And in his place, you get Dennis Schroeder, who thought he was worth $100 million and now might struggle to get 50, especially when you put a donut up in Game 5. You've got a Montrezl Harrell, who is the reigning sixth man of the year until Jordan Clarkson obviously won it a few weeks ago. Montrezl Harrell was the sixth man of the year. You got him. That was one of the reasons Dwight Howard departed. And you're Frank Vogel, the coach, and somehow, some way, knowing the fragility of an Anthony Davis, you don't prep Montrezl Harrell to be ready to go for this team in the postseason time, and you got him averaging 6 minutes a game in the first round series. That's just deplorable. And so when you look at it from that perspective, we don't know what the Lakers are going to be able to get. What we do know is that no matter who they get, it's not going to negate the fact that LeBron James and Anthony Davis are the cornerstones of this franchise. And one is unreliable because of his health, and the other is great and reliable as he is and may be. He's 37. He'll be 37 in his 19th year in the NBA. Have you seen who's playing around this league and what the hell they're doing? How the hell are you going to sit up there and rely on that? I don't think you can. It's over.
I will give you one name today. Cindy, put the tweet up there. D Wood, I'll come to you in a minute. But Cindy, put the tweet up there. Damian Lillard, this is actually Instagram. After Portland's loss last night and the Trailblazers were eliminated, he posted that picture and wrote, "How long should I stay dedicated? How long till opportunity meets preparation?" Quoting the late, great Nipsey Hussle. So, Stephen A., let me come back to you. Kendrick Perkins brought up the Lakers need to find a way to get Damian Lillard, and Lillard should want to go there. Stephen A., do you see any way that happens?
No. Number one, he makes too much money. Number two, the equitable compensation that Portland would demand in return for a dude in the midst of a $250 million contract would require you giving up, something in return. So maybe one of your big two, meaning Anthony Davis. Number three, and more importantly, Damian Lillard does not want to be in L.A. There's, he's dedicated to Portland and what have you. That may have changed after last night, as well as it should, because I've told him many times it needs to change. He needs to get the hell up out of Portland, and it's been validated yet again when they blew his 55-point performance and still lost Game 5. But even though, I could see him ultimately leaving Portland, even insisting on being out of there, as much as he loves being there and repping that city. He's not the kind of guy that wants to run to L.A. That's not who he is. That's not his ilk. That's not what he's made of. He's not interested in being in Tinseltown, being the sidekick to LeBron James. That is not how he flows. I do not see that happening.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll see. The Damian Lillard saga may play out. Now, I did want to bring in your friend and mine, D. Wood, who is devastated today. I mean, it's so sad to see a big fella looking this kind of sad, Stephen A., because you know how much he loves the Lakers. And D. Wood, Stephen A. just said, your window is closed. How do you feel this morning?
Greeny, I told you before Get Up, I was pissed off this morning. I told you how pissed off and mad I was this morning. And here it is before 10 a.m., and Stephen A. coming in here talking all types of foolishness. Out there in Los Angeles speaking blasphemy about my Los Angeles Lakers, talking about it's over, it's a wrap. Have you lost your damn mind, Stephen A.? Okay, you cannot be out there on our turf talking foolishness about the Los Angeles Lakers this era with LeBron James being over. There is no way in the world that we're going to sit back this offseason with what we displayed last night and think we're not going to come back with some type of move. Are you kidding me? After we got the chip last year, no way we going to settle and go back to those awful years that we had over the past, 7, 8 years or whatever it was. There's no way we're going to keep flowing backwards like that. We're going to make a comeback. And I'm not here to hear Stephen A. talking crazy about my Los Angeles Lakers. Forget all of that.
Well, first of all, in order to not hear me, it's a very simple solution. Take out your earplugs and go and play that piano behind you. Right? Ain't nobody stopping you. The fact of the matter is, they asked me a question. And as the late, great John Thompson, God rest his wonderful soul, once said about me, here's the thing I love about my man Stephen A. Smith. You want to know how he feels? Just ask him. It's very simple. I was asked a question. I'm minding my business. I didn't mind coming on at 10 o'clock, but they asked me to get up early to come on First Take. So out of the kindness of my heart and my love for Greeny and the whole Get Up crew, I decided to show up and answer an honest question. It's over. It's over because Klay Thompson is coming back and the Golden State Warriors will be coming. It's over because Donovan Mitchell is a bona fide superstar, D-Wade 2.0, and the Utah Jazz might very well come out of the West. It's over because Jokic is the man doing his thing. He's about to win league MVP. Michael Porter has elevated with the absence of Jamal Murray, and Jamal Murray is coming back. It's over because Kyrie, KD, and James Harden ain't going nowhere in Brooklyn. It's over because the Milwaukee Bucks have the Giannis the Greek Freak. They have Drew Holiday. They've got Chris Middleton. Okay, it's over because Joel Embiid won't always be hurt. Ben Simmons ain't going nowhere. Seth Curry and the rest of the crew in Philadelphia, coached by Doc Rivers, will have something to say. I gave you about 6 or 7 different reasons before I even brought up Father Time, before I even brought up injury-prone Anthony Davis, before I even brought up the fact that the Los Angeles Lakers, not you, Damian Woody, not the competition, the Los Angeles Lakers did it to themselves. And let me break some news to Damian Woody. In all seriousness, D. Wood, I got some news that's going to really depress you. But as a champion, you know exactly where I'm going with this. The Los Angeles Lakers win the title last year. What happened? Everybody in the NBA will tell you they were feeling themselves. We walking around Tinseltown, not LeBron, because LeBron is LeBron, and he's going to be in that weight room paying his $1.5 million to work on his body every single year. But there's a lot of people for the Los Angeles Lakers that were accused of not prioritizing, taking this season seriously enough because they were feeling themselves as reigning defending champions. You've been around people like that. Bill Belichick never allowed that in New England, which is why y'all won so many damn championships. You've seen many times where dudes in professional sports, they win one, they think they've arrived, and they forgot that the next year is a new year. That's what the Lakers did. They blew their opportunity, and as a result, it's over. And oh, by the way, before last year, they had missed the playoffs 6 straight years. So let's not act like it's beyond the pale that the Lakers could plummet. Let's stop that.
I have to let Stephen A. go. D. Wood, we will come back with you in a moment. Stephen.